Hello, welcome. I'm Tino, and today we are going to see which is the best Air Doctrine, but there is no best, it's only better and better for you on your situation. So we are going to check the cards, and I'm going to give you some tips and my personal recommendation for each of the countries. And if you are in Paradoxian channel, please subscribe here. It's Tino Dua English. I created this channel 2 weeks ago, so I hope to find you here. I will keep moving stuff from Paradoxian to here. So let's start by the one on the right, Operational Doctrine. The first card on Operational Doctrine is Interception Detection. What it does is that your fighters, when you are defending, that is when you have your fighters on interception mission, they will detect more enemy planes, and the more enemy planes that you detect, you are able to send 3 times or use 3 times the number of interceptor against them. So this is super important for defending, especially early on the game when the detection is very low, but it's usually the case almost always. But it's a great pick since early maybe you are playing as Poland or China and you are getting an attack from the Japanese or the Germans, and this will help you a lot defending. The second card will give you right away a super boost in mission interception mission efficiency. 20% is one of the best boosts for defense. So if you are as Poland, this is perfect because with just 2 cards, or as China, you have your fighters in top shape for defending your territory, detecting a lot of enemy planes, and with a boost to the damage done. The interception efficiency is the damage that you do when defending. Please do not confuse mission efficiency that talks about the numbers able to fight with the interception mission efficiency, that is the extra damage that you are dealing when defending on interception. On the third card you get ground support. The damage done by your cast will be increased, but this is kind of more specific for the second doctrine, so it's not very useful if you pick this line, means because you are defending, but it's to give you something. Now the things start to get offensive. Now you get fighter detection. That means that when your planes are on air superiority, it will increase the detection. So in this case you are now changing from defending to offensive missions. Next card, air superiority, and please do not confuse this number with air superiority mission efficiency. This air superiority will give you, let me show you in the example. You have each region, and here up here you will see the air superiority. The air superiority is calculated by the number of planes and the mission efficiency of each plane. So for example, if you have heavy fighters, since they have a lot of air coverage of the area, they will have high mission efficiency, and therefore your air, and also they multiply that number by the base value of the heavy fighter, that is I think 1.5, is bigger than the small fighters. So with heavy fighters you are going to be gaining air superiority very easy. But air superiority mission efficiency is this thing here that will make you deal more damage with your fighters on air superiority. So air superiority will give you certain bonus for performing ground operations, give you advantage on paratroopers. A lot of operations need air superiority, but if you want to deal damage, you need air superiority mission efficiency. If you want to get the bonus for the ground, go for air superiority. So now back to the card. So air superiority plus 15, you will get the air superiority bonus easier, but this will not help you kill enemy planes. Next card on the left side, you can pick both at the same time, will give you more agility. This improves the quality of the fighters, heavy fighter and small fighter, by 10%. And what does that mean exactly? If you have 100% more agility than your enemy, you reduce the damage by 30%. So if you have 10%, you will reduce the enemy damage by 3%. So this is an effective 3% boost to the quality of your fighters. Next card on the left, naval mission efficiency, 10%. Usually the other doctrines have 15, so it's a little bit weaker on naval efficiency. I think at least this one I think gives you 15, that is the best on naval efficiency, so with 5% better. And this, the second doctrine and the third doctrine, give you just 10% naval mission efficiency. On the right side, you have now air superiority mission efficiency, 20%. It's a nice boost. So if you are going offensive, very soon by clicking here you can go air superiority, and you have the nice 20% air detection and the nice 20% air superiority, and also you have this card that will boost your plane. So this doctrine on the right side is the best for doing damage with your fighter. It will not give you the instant air superiority because the air superiority bonus is 15 and the others give you, I think, maybe 20 or 30. So it will destroy more fighters, but you're not going to gain the air superiority early on. You are going to gain it later by dealing far more damage to the enemy. But this line is the best for gaining air superiority in the long run and for defending your country early on. Next card. And the last three cards talk about defense to your bombers, mission efficiency on strategic, and on logistical strike, for example. So the idea with this doctrine is that first you control the air you defend with high interception, and then you switch to offensive with your boost to air superiority and get better fighters, and then you start bombing or doing something else when you switch to the offensive mode. Now let's go to battlefield support. The first doctrine is fighter supremacy. This is when you are in air superiority mission, you will get the bonus, but this time is 15. Remember that on the right side you have a number of 20 and here you have just 15, so it's a little bit worse with your fighters, and this doctrine is designed to help you in the close air support. No air superiority, no dogfights. Next you have ground support and both missions to support with your CAS and the logistical strikes attacking on the ground. And now you have to pick left or right, but for me is kind of easy decision. This will give you a super huge boost in 15% on air superiority damage, and the other one will help you with the aces, but I think that you will end up having the aces anyway, so it's important to have at least that 15 bonus in air superiority with the 15 in air detection, and it's not as good as the 20 that you get here, but it's something. And now you have to pick left or right, but for me is kind of easy decision. This will give you a super huge boost in 15% on air superiority damage, and the other one will help you with the aces, but I think that you will end up having the aces anyway, so it's important to have at least that 15 bonus in air superiority with the 15 in air detection, and it's not as good as the 20 that you get here, but it's something. Here you have ground support, that is not the same that close air support. It's kind of logistical strike, and it says that can attack even moving units. Not sure about that, but they should hit trains and trucks, and that is great. And another one, you have agility plus 20% when you are performing close air support. Those is great. And air superiority bonus. This is not air efficiency bonus, it's air superiority, so it will help your units on the ground with air superiority and will give them a bonus in the fight. And we have three more. The first one gives you air superiority, so this will help you the troops in the ground, not your planes. It's not mission efficiency, well, that will kill more enemy fighters. It will give you a bonus on the ground on movement speed, or at least decreasing the speed of the enemy. The second is strategic bonus. It's not the idea of this doctrine, but it's there. And the second one, ground support, that is close air support, again a massive 20%. And now we get naval efficiency 10%, that is similar to the 10% given by operational integrity. These two give 10%, and on the left side 15%, so it's kind of okay in naval. Then you get strategic bomber, and finally this one, interception efficiency, because you are losing the war, you are Germany, and you get to defend from enemy bombers. So if you are on trying to win, this kind of useless doctrine, but well, maybe let's say that you are defending Europe and you are concentrating on the Soviet Union, well, this interception detection will help you a lot on the interception missions defending your factories in Germany. But this doctrine has an exploit. Let me show you. If you go the full tree, let's take a look at this number, 165%, and also here 165%. This is by going the full doctrine and applying this spirit that gives you even a huge boost to ground attack and logistical strikes. So you design a fighter like this one with 3 heavy machine guns and a bomb bay, and you put those heavy fighters in both missions. You select ground support and logistical strike. If they do not find ground support, they will go for the logistical strike. Let me click one, this one. As you can see, they have ground support, will be the priority, but if they do not, there is no combat in the front line, they will be for logistical strike. And since they have a huge bonus, that bonus will be applied also for the fighting ability. So this, usually when you send close air support alone, they got massacred, but as you can see, it's not the case. We are going to let the time pass a bit, and we are going to see the numbers in the statistics. As you can see, they are very strong, very hard to kill, and they are dealing massive damage on the enemy infra. What I want to see now is the number of trucks destroyed. Take a look at the enemy trucks lost, almost 600, 700, and Japan has a lot of trucks. I think that almost 2,000, but once you destroy this number, they will be automatically out of supply. Enemy transport, they are losing even transport, 8 transport, 9 transports. I think that they have 40 transport in the stockpile, but after a while they will be in very big problems. But we are going to do now a ground attack, and let's see the front line, and let's move some units. And now I'm going to pause, and you should see ground attack here, because the plane are doing now ground attack. Nice damage too. But they take no losses unlike the close air support fighters. And you take, for example, if the enemy is using interception, you take the interception out of the bases. It's kind of, you lure them out. And let's see the numbers. Well, this is the original number of trucks they had when the thing started. They had 2,800 trucks, and now they have just 800 trucks. So in a couple of days, weeks, they lost 2K trucks and about 8 transport, because they are not using trains here. Sorry, they are using convoys through the rivers and sea. They lose convoys instead of trains, so it's kind of devastating. But now I'm going to switch off the artificial intelligence, and I'm going to put fighters here on defense, on interception, because the enemy is not using many fighters, and I will be back. And now let's say that Japan has fighters on interception, and with air superiority they do not take off, so we are going to lure this fighter to flight, and we are going to destroy them in the air. So each month they lost about 450 trucks, and they lost 53 fighters, meta fighters, and we lost almost double heavy fighters, sorry, almost half, 28. And since this one you can buy 1.8, 1.9 of these fighters, we are losing about maybe 53. It's about the same, so we are losing the same industrial capacity in heavy fighters against meta fighters defending the perfect scenario for the meta fighter, but even with 600 meta fighters defending the province, they are going to lose the war or the area at least very soon, since they cannot hold a rate of 400-500 trucks lost each month. I did the calculations and they lost the cost of 34 meta fighters in trucks. So if you multiply about 450 by 2.5 and you divide by the cost of the meta fighter, that is 29 industrial capacity, they lost 30 something industrial capacity on trucks. So it's a powerful strategy to use this exploit. If you are playing as Germany, for example, it's kind of super great. And what about the final doctrine? Well, as its name it implies, is strategic bomber and naval bomber. It has extra 0.5% in naval bombing, and you have to pick left side on the decision initially, and you have on one side, here it is, interception, so we are going to be defending, or air superiorities, you are going to be attacking. So I recommend going air superiority, since you are going to be doing strategic bombing. It makes not much sense to go defensive. And you have option to go night, or you have option to go day. And overall they have a 20% mission efficiency for the air. They also have a bonus like to the agility to the fighters, but they have 15% fighter detection and interception detection. So this doctrine is a little bit better on fighter versus fighter. This is kind of it's good for kind of everything, but it's not as good, not even close, in close air support to this one, or logistical strike, and it's a little bit worse than this one in fighter to fighter. But as you can see, this one close air support using that exploit is super powerful, super powerful. So if you have the resources and you like do attack by round and that kind of things, this is the way to go. Maybe this one is for England or the US that keep bombing. If you like strategic bombing, of course this is the way for you. And if you are under attack right away, this is the one for you. And hope you find this useful. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.